Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to Topher Drives, where my voice is still recovering a bit from being sick, but it works out because we have a car that will somewhat speak for itself this morning on our commute. This is the 2025 992.2 Porsche 911 Carrera T. Essentially, the entire 911 lineup got a bit of a revision into its .2 generation for the 2025 model year. And of course, that included the enthusiast choice, the base model with a stick 911 Touring Carrera T. Now, this has gotten a couple of changes for the 2025 model year, but the formula is mostly the same. 3-liter twin-turbo flat-six, manual transmission, rear-wheel drive. However, some of you may remember that green car that we were all driving around in LA a couple of years ago. That was the 992.1 Carrera T. That had a 7-speed manual. Porsche has lopped off the 7th gear for the 2025 model year and probably realized that 7 gears is just too many for a manual transmission. Chevrolet realized that as well with the Corvette, but then they took away the manual transmission altogether. Porsche at least kept it, but reduced the amount of gears to 6, which I think is the perfect amount for any manual transmission car these days. So we have the 6-speed manual, it's rear-wheel drive. We now have standard rear-wheel steering in the Carrera T as well. And power's been bumped up from 379 horsepower to 388. Torque stays the same at 331. This Carrera T has multiple little lightweight things to help it, well, be lighter. It's got lighter glass, it's got less sound deadening inside, and it's got some parts bin special things going on as well. We have wheels from a Carrera S, brakes from the old Carrera S. The PASM, the adaptive dampers, are from the old GTS. And inside, we have seats from a GT3 RS, but these you have to pay extra for. These are about a $6,000 option for these full bucket seats. We'll get into the spec in a minute, but this has kind of been the enthusiast choice for the 992 generation since Porsche killed the manual transmission in the base. You can now no longer get a manual even in the S or the GTS. So if you don't want to get a GT3, you don't want to spend like $300,000, this is your choice for a new manual 992. The Carrera T starts just under $140,000. This one as spec today is $162,000. However, I went on the configurator last night and built this exact car for the 2026 model year, and it's a bit closer to $170,000. So pretty close to that Carrera S we were driving last week. But man, this is such a different experience than a Carrera S. I'm excited to take you guys all out on the road for a lovely sunrise commute. What time is it? It's 8:04. Actually, I think that's the exact time that the sun is rising today. So we are on some perfect timing, but my voice is still quite dreadful today, so hopefully this 3-liter flat-six will be able to help me out with that. So let's talk about our spec. So this is finished in ice gray, which is just a very light, almost white silver. I don't mind it. And then we have what's called the Carrera T exterior pack, which gives us all these Gentian blue accents. So our Carrera T badge is Gentian blue. Our Carrera S wheels are painted in Gentian blue, which I love. Kind of like wheels in exterior color, except they're not exterior color, they're exterior accenting color, I suppose. Our 911 Carrera T stickers on the doors and on the hood, those are blue. In fact, this sticker only comes on the hood if you get the optional exterior pack. We've got some PPF going on. This car has front axle lift, so it'll help you get over steep things here and there. We have the speed bump on the way out here. We'll be able to demonstrate that. This whole thing it's so funny. Porsche's really pushing, like, hey, we still make a manual. They give you these little stickers on the quarter glass. These are not specific to the press car. These come on any Carrera T. There's other little things in the interior, which we'll show you in a bit. I think this car is very close to being kind of overdone in the looks department, but it just kind of sneaks under the radar into being just about perfect. I think this .2 generation of the 992 has really kind of evened out the styling here, and everything looks as it should. These black mirrors are also part of this exterior styling pack. We'll put the entire spec down in the description for you guys, but the main options are the front axle lift and then these full bucket seats, which are a $6,000 option. So all in all, we have right around 20 grand in options on this car, which for a Porsche is really not too crazy. We have no rear seat in this. Carrera T does come standard with one, but when you opt for these seats, it does get rid of it. Before we jump in, I'll show you under the hood and under the hood. In the back, normal 992 stuff. You open this up and it just looks like a gaming computer inside. You can just see a couple of fans. It tells you that it's a 3-liter. You can add some things, coolant and oil. And also you can see these little bits of Gentian blue back here, part of that exterior pack. Lots of blue. It's only about a $2,900 option. They give you lots of blue paint. How could I forget? This also has the PDLS headlights in black. In the frunk here, lots of room, normal 911 stuff. I mean, Porsche always does a great job with their frunks, giving you some extra practicality for these cars and actually be able to use them whilst daily driving or commuting, as we're going to do this morning. Man, how cool would this be as a daily driver? That's kind of what I want to find out, because we had the Carrera S last week and I said that the Carrera S was the perfect daily driver, but I hadn't yet been in this .2 Carrera T. And from the surface, I mean, it's just not going to be as good of a daily, but it will be more engaging, which means it might make the morning more fun, which means maybe it is the better daily. So let's jump in and we'll go find out. I don't like the door handles, but we know that for the 992. I already showed you the seats. It is so cold this morning, I can see my breath. Really no graceful way to get in and out of these bucket seats, but that's okay because they look the business, they feel the business. These things are sweet. It's actually very cool to, oh, hold on. The car automatically puts itself into accessory mode as soon as you get in. I was going to say, it's very cool to have a press car spec'd with these, because these are quite a hefty option. Usually Porsche press cars aren't super crazy specs, so love to see that. In the middle, this is where they're kind of accentuating this manual transmission a bit more. We have a special open pore walnut shift knob. And in front of that, a little MT, little metal badge there to show, hey, we still make a manual. Look at us, we still make a manual, even though they took it away from like most of their other cars. But this is the manual 911 now if you want it, and you really have no other choice unless you want to spend $300,000. Okay, let's fire this thing up. This, like any other 0.2 generation 992, has a stop-start button now instead of a switch, and we no longer have a mechanical rev counter in the middle, though this one does give you some really cool options. This is kind of like the old school, has it so as soon as the needle is top dead center, that means that it is time to shift. You can see this one is that way, but you can also make this kind of just look like a regular 911 cluster with all 5 of the gauge pods. I will say the only good thing about this being a fully digital cluster now is you can actually see everything from behind the wheel. You're not like missing gauges out to the side anymore. So I do like this view. I've got tire pressure, I've got navigation. I don't know, I think this one's the coolest. I think this kind of pays tribute to the 911T the most, as this car is, you know, the late 60s, early 70s car. So inside, we've got some more Gentian blue. This has the Gentian blue interior pack as well. So we've got blue stitching and things, blue trim. Our sport chrono dial is blue. I've got blue seat belts, and this extends to no matter what seat you actually pick for this car. I've got my ambient lighting set to blue as well, because of course we've got the optional Bose sound system, which doesn't actually sound as good in this car. I think it's because it has less sound deadening, so there's less things to absorb it. And then we have this little manual transmission badge there on the trim. I don't know if you guys can see that or not, but that is a special little Carrera T thing. So, all right, well, I think we've covered pretty much everything about this car. If I didn't, you guys will make sure to let me know in the comments. But why don't we take this thing out on the road and show you what it's like to drive, what it's like to commute this morning. Parking brake down. We've got this little cup holder here behind the shift knob. And we also have this cup holder over here on the dash, behind the shifter, rather, more than just the shift knob. Into reverse. 360 camera comes up. Reversing camera comes up. Both, of course, quite high quality here in this Carrera T. As soon as you take that out of the reverse gate, it automatically puts the front camera up. Every Carrera T comes standard. Oh, hold on. Every Carrera T comes standard on the Carrera S wheels, which I do like. Let's see if this remembers the speed bump here to lift the front. did not. That's a bit strange. That's all right. It allows me to demonstrate the smart lift function. Physical button there to lift the front, and then it will prompt you to save the location there on the screen. We're going to manually lower that back down because when this front end is lifted, the suspension is very stiff. This feels like it has blocks of wood in there. So we've got a Carrera S wheel, staggered setup, 20-inch on the front, 21 on the back. This is on a Pirelli P0. It's a pretty aggressive summer tire. Which is why I have my temperatures up, because grip will be low. It's 39 degrees Fahrenheit, which is colder than you're even supposed to run these tires. But this car did sit in the garage last night, so it already had some temperature in it this morning, and we are adding to that now. Some changes have also been made to this shifter, of course, being that this is an entirely different transmission for 2025, and it feels lovely. This is about as close as I've felt to a GT3 in a non-GT car since I've been driving Porsches. Biblically accurate morning commute moment to be stuck behind a semi-truck, but that's okay. Yeah, this shifter is lovely. Very short throw, but kind of retains the Porsche, like, what do we call it? Kind of like rotating feel for the shifter. We've got 4 drive modes in here: normal, sport, sport plus, and wet. Sport will engage the auto blip function, which, like any Porsche, is phenomenal. Got some little burbles on the down rev. Say this is kind of a car that encourages you to drive quickly. You don't like going slow in the Carrera T. Very long gears. This is normal for Porsche as well. Love the way this exhaust sounds. Porsche's really gotten this figured out for the Dot 2. They've made it sound very authentic. There's really nothing in here that screams to me that it's fake. Even if they are piping in a little bit of noise, it's very hard to detect. Front end is very sharp, even though we're still struggling to get some heat into these tires. Only 71 degrees on the front. Just such beautiful harmonies from this car. I mean, it's really intoxicating. All you ever want to do is winded out. And that's a little bit surprising because I've never really loved the way that this 3-liter sounds. Cool GLA. Sounds good, even with the windows down. I mean, I think that's proof enough that this is a real, authentic sound. Ride quality is pretty nice. Now, these dampers are from the old GTS, so the 992.1. Let's do our little section one more time because I just can't help myself. And then we'll get it on the highway. We'll talk about what it's actually like to live with, but I have to rev this thing out one more time. Behind the cement truck. This auto blip system is just phenomenal. Alrighty, well, we've established that this will certainly make your morning more exciting, spice it up. I think the leftovers of my sickness are making it a bit hard for me to actually wake up today, but this car is helping me as much as it can. Oh my goodness. It's just such a fluid and satisfying driving experience. Like, you get in this car and you just want to keep going. You want to get better. You want to get smoother with it. This car definitely encourages you to become a better driver. Some things I don't like in here, actually, the sunrise is reminding me right now. It's a very cheap looking dashboard. You have to pay extra if you want the stitching on here, like we saw in that Carrera S we were driving last week. So it's got a molded plastic dashboard. It's got molded plastic door panels, which, I'm sorry, for $160,000, just give me a little, you can even fake it. Give me a little bit of fake leather or something on the dash. It's just, it looks like a Jetta in here. So I don't love that. That's pretty much the only thing that I have to complain about. And I know you are able to take care of this, but you have to pay extra. Porsche's very big on that. You just have to pay extra for everything. And I know that's just the way they are, but I think in a 911 that's technically not even a base model, I mean, we should be getting some nicer dashboard materials right off the bat. It's very easy to get up to speed in a quick manner in this car because your body yearns to row these gears. You just want to keep shifting. And it's funny because I'm sure there will be people thinking, okay, 388 horsepower, 331 pound-feet of torque, that doesn't sound like much, especially in a 3,300 pound car. And you'd kind of be right. The car is quick, but it definitely doesn't blow your mind with its quickness. But I think that's okay. I don't think that every car always has to be about straight line. Now, we know this about Porsche. They don't really make cars for straight line speed unless we're thinking about things like the 918 that are blisteringly quick, or the Turbo S. But a car like this that, you know, says manual transmission and 18 different spots on it, they don't want this to be something that screams from 0 to 60 in 2 seconds. Sorry, I had to despawn those cars right there real quick. You know, 4.5 seconds, it's the same as my dad's Focus RS. And for the longest period of time, that was plenty of power. And I think for now, in a car like this, where you're really not getting this off the line, because Porsche won't really let you anyway, because it's limited to 3,500 RPM out of launch, it's okay. So obviously, from a driving perspective, this car is wonderful. But what about to live with? What about once you get it out onto the highway and start running your actual commute? This is just pure pain and suffering. Look how slow that person's merging. Oh my goodness. But as far as comfort goes, I mean, you have some NVH. Porsche literally states that they don't put as much sound deadening in the T, so you hear the tires. But it's a price that you have to be willing to pay, and you do pay it. $138,000 starting to have much road intrusion. But you know what? I'll take the road intrusion if it means I can have this gearbox. I don't care. Coming into some traffic, we'll be able to judge this clutch, brakes, and everything else. I would like to go back into sport and get my auto blip back. As far as ride quality goes and things, I'm quite impressed with this car, because I, for some reason, thought it would feel like falling down a flight of stairs, but these old GTS dampers have been tuned in such a way that they're actually quite livable. I think the new GTS rides worse than this. And again, you wouldn't really expect that, because this is supposed to be kind of a hardcore car. But they've made it quite dailyable. Even these optional $6,000 full bucket seats are okay. I mean, you'd have like essentially no adjustment with them. But a supportive seat is always better than a non-supportive seat. So I think I could live with these. The only thing that's annoying with them is getting in and out of them. And if you're a bit older, they would be even more annoying to get in and out of. I'm 27, and they're, you know, it's not like they're hard to get in and out of, it's just not majestic. Like, it's kind of embarrassing. Like, I don't know. You feel a little bit awkward having to move your body in the way that it needs to be moved to get in and out of these seats. So, all right, well, what's the clutch and shifter action like in traffic? Obviously, the shifter, nothing changes there. It's light, it's easy to operate. Clutch, it's on the lighter side, but it has a very defined grab point, so you're not giving yourself whiplash here in this car. You're not having to guess. Controls are pretty easy. They're pretty satisfying. That goes from spirited driving to daily driving to traffic. No matter what, this car is well tuned to handle the situation. Should go windows. Speaking of the Focus RS, I mean, come on, the Burbles kind of behave the same way. I'm a fan of this car and everything it does. You don't really have that overdrive anymore because Porsche sawed off the 7th gear. It's okay, because it means that your top gear is still a gear that you can play with. I mean, plenty of torque in 6th to mob around. Obviously, seating position in this car is fantastic. The bucket seat is a little bit far forward, but honestly, it kind of favors itself towards my driving position anyway. So I'm not mad at it. Window switches are in an awkward position. We'll give Tedward credit for that journalistic take, having to contort your arm in a weird way to put the windows down, but I think I'm used to it at this point. It's the second 992 I've driven in the last 2 weeks. I love this car. So this poses an interesting question, because this is only about $10,000 cheaper than a Carrera S, yet it has almost 100 less horsepower. It's like 90 or so. You can't have a PDK with this. Not that you'd want to get it, because that would defeat the whole purpose of this specific trim. But I guess screw you if you have leg issues, says Porsche. But you have to ask yourself what you're prioritizing, because I don't think this really forces you to make any sort of sacrifices that make the commute suck. Like, there's nothing dreadful about this. I don't think there's any part of this that's like unusable in a commute. I mean, of course the ride's a little firm. The NVH, the road noise is a little bit much, but you have the Bose sound system, which we're going to test out here and show you in a sec. You've really got all of the amenities in here that you need. So if you really do genuinely like driving, I think this like kind of splits the difference nicely between something that's so hardcore, something like a Lotus Exige, where you wouldn't really want to drive it every single day. Something like a Lotus Exige, and then on the other end of the spectrum, something like a Cadillac CT5V Blackwing that's very engaging to drive, but also very cozy. I feel like this kind of sits right in the middle. So you could still have your fun with this car and still arrive to work in a good mood, not beat up, not drenched in sweat, not deaf. So really, this is kind of the perfect solution for an enthusiast daily. Heck, I mean, this even has the PTV in the back. Throw some snow tires on this, and you'd be okay. You could drive this year-round, I think, with no problem. 911s have always kind of been renowned as, like, the ultimate daily driver sports car. And we're still seeing that. All right, let's test out some other cluster designs. Let's go to the 5-gauge pods here. That initial shift into first, it's just so mechanical and lovely. And as we kind of make our way into town here, why don't we show you the performance of this optional, it's about a $2,000 option, Bose sound system. Now this is interesting to me because we had the Bose last week in the Carrera S, but that car's got quite a bit more sound deadening. So it did genuinely sound different. I think it sounds a bit worse actually in the T here, because there's less sort of like, it's not as clean because more things are kind of rattling and buzzing around. The downshift into first is amazingly smooth. Steering weight, even in sport, makes this thing very easy to maneuver. Did kind of want to try this over some of these uneven roads. Steering is still quite dodgy. Around the manhole cover there. And it's quick. Steering's very quick. Brake pedal is really nice and progressive in any setting. I also like that this car doesn't feel massive. I can kind of take it down some of these tighter streets. And it's confident in just about every environment, we'll say. But I suppose that's just about going to wrap it up for us with this little morning commute in the new 992.2 Carrera T. Hope you guys enjoyed. If anything, I hope you liked just listening to this 3-liter Boxer flat 6. I know I am not feeling 100% myself, but these things happen, and well, the cars still show up, so we gotta go put them through their paces, show you what they're all about, and I'm still happy to do it even when I am sick. So here we go. Let's get this pulled into the structure.
Please select an event from the screen
Oh
menu.
dear. Now is not the time to be too short.
Welcome.
Oh, we did it.
Please proceed into the lot.
We had to overextend a bit, but we made it in. Parking sensors going nuts. And check it out, we're here just in time to park and walk up to the office and get there at 9 o'clock. Mustang Bullet, cool. Maneuverability here is good, especially with this rear axle steer, which has a main intention of kind of helping you around quick corners, but it also helps you quite a bit with things like this. Makes this already agile sports car even more agile. I mean, I was gonna say small car, but the 911 isn't really small anymore. This is a pretty big thing. Alrighty guys, well, let's go ahead and wrap this one up. Let's kind of answer the question that we asked ourselves at the beginning. Is this a better daily than the Carrera S? No, it's not. However, it's more fun, it's more engaging, and I don't think there's anything about it that makes it not dailyable. You've got plenty of room in the back behind these seats to put stuff. You've got the massive frunk. Also, this is rated at 25 mpg on the highway. 20 mpg combined, so you're actually able to be quite efficient with this car if you really want to. All in all, just makes quite an attractive package if you ask me. As a daily driver, this might be where I'd be looking. Oh, and my roof is still closed. That's okay. We'll go down to a different level. I think that might be open right there, but I'm not running the risk of that, so we're just gonna wrap this up over here, and we'll call it good. Alrighty guys, well thank you all for riding with me this morning in the new 911 Carrera T. Let's give you one last look at this ice gray exterior. A little bit of sunlight on it. Oh man, what a thing, what an experience. Lots of fun. This car kind of delivers that old school sense of connectedness and just real raw driving pleasure, and of course that's what Porsche was going for. You'd never know, would you, with that, and all of the things. Anyway, yeah, this is a P0. Got a 305/30/21 on the back, and then on the front a 245 section tire on a 20-inch wheel, so a little bit of a staggered setup there, but overall, I think the look is good, the drive is good, and if you're considering buying one of these to daily, don't be afraid, it does the thing. So that'll be it for us today. I enjoyed myself. I hope you guys enjoyed watching and listening to this beautiful flat six. If I left anything out, please let me know. That'll do it. Thank you all again so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Take care.